Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to look at the 2 to 4 player game Sugar Heist by Alex Clark Studios. So let's go head down to the table here. I'm going to give you a general idea how to play the game, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, so this is Sugar Heist, and this is what a typical setup of the game might look like. You're going to shuffle the Sugar Heist deck. You're going to shuffle these attack cards. You're going to deal 6 cards out to each player, and each player is going to get 2 vaults. The game comes with a really cool, handy-dandy player aid, and you're going to take up to 3 different stages in your turn. So the first one's going to be, you're going to look at your hand, and you're going to take a matching pair and place them in one of your vault. Now you can only have one candy type in your vault, and you have 2 vaults. You can buy more vaults, but we'll get that to that in a second. So you're going to pick 2 of your things. Now on here, you're going to see a number, 2 numbers. This is how many of this type of candy are in the deck, and this is how much of that candy is needed to lock your vault. So I'm going to place 2 of these Fruity Booties down in my vault. Now, why would you want to lock your vault? Because other people can steal these cards out of your vault until it's locked. So you want to try to lock the vault to make it safe. Now, if I wasn't able to place 2 matching pairs down in my hand, from a hand on the table, I have the option then to just, well, I have to draw 2 cards and end my turn. Now, if I have over 6 cards in my hand, I have to discard down at the end of my turn. So if you weren't able to put a matching pair down, you have to end your turn. Now, after you draw 2 cards. And at the end of the turn, if you had less than 6 cards, you would draw up. So that's the 2 things that happen in your turn. Now let's say I did have these and I put them down. The next thing I get to do is I get to place out 2 cards face up from here, which is going to make a little bit of a market. Now, I could use these as bargaining chips, and you should. Or I could take these and place them in my hand. So I could take these cards, or I could trade with them. Now, when you trade with them, you don't have to limit it to the cards that are on the table. You could trade cards out of your hand. Either way, whatever you trade back and forth goes into your hand. Now, all trades have to be done with the active player. So other players aren't allowed to trade between each other. They're only allowed to trade with that player. After these cards are gone and everyone is traded, you either took them or you didn't, then you have the option to buy these attack cards and more vaults. So if you buy either one of them, and you can do only up to 2, you have to spend candy out of one of your vaults. And if this causes your vault to drop below the number on this candy, your vault was locked, it becomes unlocked. But anyway, I could buy another vault by discarding this one if I wanted to for some reason. I can buy one of these cards here from this deck, and we're going to go over a couple different things. So on the same port where I'm buying these things, I can also play them. There's attack cards, which you could pick either the Heist side, so this will be play immediately, and the Steal side, which is going to be play any turn. So in the future, you could just play this later on. Heist you'll do immediately, which can give a bigger advantage, or Steal, which you have to play in the future. There's other types in here. One of the cards you have to look out for, which is defensive cards, is the Mom card. So if you're trying to start a fight by attacking and stuff, they're stealing, doing a heist on their vault, that player can play the Mom card to stop that action. So just be aware that's there, and some of these cards will give you extra points. So basically you're going to continue on doing that until this deck here is exhausted for the second time. So once you go through this deck entirely, and you'll reshuffle it and go through it one more time. Once that has happened, then every player gets to have one chance to place down as many pairs as they want from their hand. And then finally, you just count how many of these cards you have in each of the vaults, and the person with the most points wins. So that is basically Sugar Heist. We're going to go ahead back up to the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts on the game. So Sugar Heist, it's really fun. It's a really fun game. It actually like faintly reminds me of the game Bonanza, and that's mainly because of the set collection with the different vaults that you can have out, and the flipping over of the sugar cards and trading of them. Now in Bonanza, you have to keep a certain order in your hand, which isn't in this, which I really like, because if you're going to teach an entry-level game here that you're just going to have fun at a party with or with friends, this is more the game that you want to be leaning towards, because it's very, very easy to teach and it's fun. And having that like negotiation element in the game is really nice. It's great for trying to solve some of the problems from randomly drawing the candy cards in there and getting your pairs before the start of your next turn. And I will say that the more players that you play this game, so if you get up to the 4-player count, the better it is. So this game is probably best at 4, mainly because of that negotiation portion of the game. So, and I also feel like after your first turn, well, actually, if you're not first, basically, you have a more likelihood of not having to just draw 2 cards and end your turn. You're going to be able to have plenty of opportunity to get at least a matching pair before your turn starts if you don't already have one. So that's really good. Like I said, this is a really good, fun, easy to teach card game. This is going to be one that I'm definitely going to bring out fairly often and will be in my collection. So that is our thoughts on Sugar Heist. Thank you for watching.